Hey everyone, how you going? This is my first video that I've made, and I've actually had a meditation beforehand just to relax myself and even myself out, because I always used to be a bit of a shy guy, and it's taken a bit to overcome my shyness. So I normally get anxiety and shyness, so I'm trying to overcome that. So I've just had a meditation. Before the meditation I wrote out some notes on this event that I want to do. So the event is going to be a CE5 event. So CE5 stands Contact of the Fifth Initiative, which is human initiated contact, which is when us humans go out and go in deep in thought and go into meditation and make contact with ETs, as opposed to them make contact with us. So it's at Glebe Hill in Howrah, Tasmania, and but I'm also wanting this to be a non-local event as well. So I'll go into what I've got some notes beside me so I don't get off track and start harping on for half an hour when it's supposed to be about 3 or 4 minutes. So what is happening? What is happening is that I'm going to have an event in December, because I live in Tasmania, Australia, and the weather is going to be a lot better in December. So it's going to be on the 10th of December, and I hope it to be really good. On the night that it's just up the road from my place, so it's not very much of a walking distance. The first contact group that outing that we had from my Tassie group, we went to a beach. It was a bit too loud with the waves crashing, but it was a great atmosphere and it was really good. So what will be happening will be I'll be buying a telescope, like a pretty good telescope. We've got 2 grounds, so obviously look at, when you watch this, look at the photos that will be with it. There's 2 grounds. One is being kept. So what I mean by kept is they've watered the grass so it's nice and soft. There we're going to have the meditation, and we're going to have a few cameras. For the night, I think we're going to have 3 or 4 cameras. We've got 2 cameras locked in now, but I hope to have a bit more before the event. So we're going to have 2 grounds. One ground is on one side of the road, which is a square block, which is really nice grass. We're going to do the meditation there so people can sit down and people can just relax. At the start of the night, it's going to start at between 6 and 7 o'clock. So we're going to get people that are going to arrive. We're going to introduce ourselves and say hi. So we say the event starts at 6 or 7 o'clock, so it depends on if I'm working, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be 6 o'clock. We're going to have a barbecue. I'm going to supply the meat and the salad and some rice and some bottled water and some lemonade. So I'm planning on going to the university and marketing by putting up posters saying that, have you ever wondered, are we alone in the universe? Are you someone that sees faults in the current system that we've got? Do you want to represent your country and make something of your life? But did you know that you can represent your world and your universe? So I don't have it totally planned out yet how I want to have it, but what I want to do is I want to market it to people that want to have an education, want to do something good, and I'm wanting to entice people to come. So I'm paying out of my own pocket for the barbecue, the water and the salad and the rice. I only live down the road, so we can have a big pot of rice on and take it up. Okay, say where it's at. Well, where it is going to be Glebe Hill, Howrah, Tasmania, Australia. But also, if you're not in the area, I'd like you to do it non-local with me. I explain this further. We're going to have, so far we've got 2 talkers plus myself. One talker, his name is Chris. He has done many things in his past. He comes from Queensland. He used to be a ghostbuster by used to going into people's houses and communicating to spirits that were causing trouble and get them to leave, either go back to cross the line to go back to where they need to go. And he said that a lot of people when they die, they don't know they're dead. So he's also a very spiritual guy. He's going to have a talk about surrendering, he said, and also about meditation. So he's a really nice guy, and I'm glad to have him on board to help me with this. The next person I'm going to have a speaker will be Rob. Rob is a very nice guy, and he's been interested in this topic for a very long time. He's going to talk about earthquakes and talk about quite a few other topics. I will be having a speech as well. I will be explaining to people. I will be last. I'll be the last speaker, but I will obviously introduce people as the speakers and have a little talk about what the night is about. So it's a free sausage sizzle, and so the night will be about entertaining the idea of becoming spiritual or having a spiritual concept, mind and outlook, and to entertain the idea for it to be a possible of your life. So I'm asking for people to be open-minded. I'm asking people to use an analytical mind, to be interested in wanting to know what these people have to say, but at the same time using their own initiative to formulate their own ideas. So the night will be about spirituality, the night will be about meditation, the night will be about that if, I know myself that I've gone through a bit of a hard time through life, so it can be for people that have had a bit of a hard life and then they look at life and say, hey, everyone's just being a bitch to me, or everyone's being this to me. The system is corrupt, the system is not functioning properly. And you go, hey, but if I was in charge, I could do this and I could do that. So I'm wanting people that, can say, hey, the broadcasting units for the news are all, it's all an old paradigm, like I've stated in a few Facebook posts, that's all about showing the bad stuff and repeatedly showing the bad stuff to create hatred and dishonest negativity. So the night's going to be about, I'm going to the university. I've probably got about 15 people so far out of my group that really want to come along to this. I'm going to have some tents in my backyard. I'm going to have, I think, 4 or 5 people staying. So they're going to camp out in my backyard. After the event, we're going to have a few beers and catch up and just, still carry on with the night watch, but it's going to be a bit more personal and tighter, niche, sort of with the people that we've got. I've got my good mate Maximilian. He's going to be coming down with his partner. My good mate Quentin Witherell. He's a really good guitarist. I've spent, he used to be one of my neighbours back in 2007, 2008 and 2009 when I used to live in West Hobart. He was a really nice guy, a mad musician, really good on the guitar. So for the night, I want him to come down and play some music to everyone. He's one of my brothers, and we've gone through a lot of stuff through life, and we've had our hard times, we've had our good times, but after all, everything, that we should look at the good side and see what there is to offer and what there is, the potential of everything. And it's been really great. And Quentin's gone through a bit of a bad time like I have. I can relate 100% to what he's gone through, and he's going to, he's a top bloke, he's a very smart mind, and he listens, and when you talk, you can tell that he's paying attention and trying to understand what you're trying to say. So he's a really good musician, and I'm not going to say anything more, but I want to get him involved in this because I think it would be great. Okay, so I'm explaining it's going to be a local. Local means is when people in the area come in and do the meditation and focusing on that area. It's also a non-local, which means that people, and say I'm living in Australia, so people in the United States or the UK or all these other countries can participate in it. It's going to be on the 10th. I'm going to be doing it in Australia on the 10th of December. For the people that are in the UK or in America, the United States, is going to be on the 9th as well. So I hope you can get on board. Non-local means that you can participate. So when we're doing it at say 6 o'clock at night and you're in the United States, so that's like 10 hours before. So that's like doing it say 4 o'clock. Well, yeah, it's not going to line up directly, but it's going to be something that we're at least putting our vibes out there and we're putting our energy out there to our mission statement. Alright, so what I'm looking for is I'm looking for ambassadors, and when you do CE5 you're an ambassador to the universe. So I'm looking for other ambassadors out there. I know that James Ian Daly and Dave Hillis will help me out on this, and they will do a non-local. But what I'm wanting you to do is, and all these other people out there, if you're out there and you want to get behind this, alright, on the 9th and the 10th, do a meditation. So either invite your friends around to your house. I'm not sure what the weather is going to be like then. I'm guessing in the United States it's going to be cold. So do it inside and pop out every now and then. So for the people that are into this, invite your local friends that can just come over, cook them dinner and do a meditation. The night is going to be based around interconnectiveness. It's about sharing a mutual core understanding of how things should work out. So in the past year, since my partner gave birth to our daughter Vienna, it was just opened my eyes to everything. And I just want to be a person that helps my friends, helps people in need, someone who wants to listen. If you can tell if someone's putting their heart into something, just to step back and just to listen to what they have to say and show that you're listening. Don't be thinking about what you've got to do next and be showing like it's just going right over your head. But I think that, when you've got a really good friend, you want to help them out, and you say to them, you offer this thing, I'll offer my services to you for free to help you out. And you only say that because you get to a certain stage, you know that if you help them, that it's going to be mutual and it's going to be the same. Well, I've come to this understanding that through my life, when I'm thinking and connecting to these ETs and I'm seeing flashbulb, night quake, the whole sky turns, arcs, where it just like appears and does an arc shape, or like floaters that appear and float across and then disappear, but it's always at the end of what you have to say, but it only happens. I've come to the conclusion that when they agree with something and they're using consciousness, so they're listening to my words and they're coming through, but they're listening to the core of the understanding of what it is. Sometimes I've gotten bored, and when I've made contact and I'm like, nothing's happening, and then I'll start singing Adele in my voice, Adele in my mind, and I'll be projecting Adele's voice, and then there'll be a craft that will appear and float across the sky and then disappear, and I'll start laughing. I'll be like, that's all you needed to do. You just needed to hear some male down here on earth start singing some Adele, a girl's voice in there, but like what I want to stress about and what I want to make clear is that these ET beings might be 1,000, might be 1,000,000, might be 1,000,000,000 years older than us. But all the crafts that I've seen are pretty much all the same and have been repeatedly the same over the duration. So either they're the same people that are working whenever they hear me, when I've got my message clear, they go, the alarm bells go off and they come down and they get here instantly and they listen, and then whenever I say something good, they'll respond by either a flash or a night quake where the whole sky turns to light and even the bushes down in front of you will light up. To arcs, when it goes like there's a rainbow, to ones that appear and float across, or orbs that will be shining like as big as the moon, that will appear and go over and then will disappear. So I've made over about 160 sightings. There's probably even a bit more. The other day, me and my mate Ben were out and we saw something that was a bit strange and it just disappeared, but we didn't keep on watching it to see where it might have gone, so we can't say, but it was just a bit weird. what happened that time was I was in the shop and I was talking to a lady, and she was really good customer service, and we're having a bit of a laugh. So this was in a shop, this is a second-hand shop, and I was just having a talk to her. And at the end I said, you know, are there any jobs going here? And she goes, oh, sorry, I'm a volunteer. And I was like, geez, you give really good customer service for someone who's like, you're not getting paid for it. But that's it, sometimes that, and I said to my mate Ben, I said, you know, she gave really good customer service and she wasn't getting paid for it. And I said, you know, like, she got down to your level, she had a bit of a joke. We're talking about politics and she gave me a few ideas about stuff that I hadn't really looked into. And I said, whenever I run for being a politician or a party, I'm going to get you on board. So, you know, it blew me away that someone who's getting paid, not getting paid is putting in more effort. See, the thing is that I've read all these books and I've come to this idea that, you know, and people take it the wrong way sometimes. I try to be like to amp myself up and be sort of to say stuff and to be positive and to get a reaction to make them laugh, because you know, I know that working in retail and customer service and all that sort of stuff, that people can just be, you know, they're annoyed they have to buy something, so they go out and they buy something and then they're just a negative and they're just in that sort of, and they take it out on these people because they think they're getting paid so that they can treat them like that. So I just try and be nice, and I know that I read this book, it was called A Power Phrase. A power phrase is a phrase that empowers you, empowers the other person, empowers everyone in the whole conversation. Doesn't take power away from anyone. You say what you mean and mean what you say, and you say it nicely to make the conversation, for you to be heard and understood, and to make the conversation go forward. So I always find that it's really annoying after you do all this stuff, but it comes down to how you deliver it sometimes, you know, because I'm a really good thinker that I internally think about these things, but it's in the non-physical. So then there's the other step, but then there's the adaptation when you meet. You can learn something in your mind in the non-physical and know it, and talk to a good friend about it and say it verbally in the physical and get a good reception. Then if you meet someone out and they're a bit different, or you've got to change what you say, or you say something but then you've got to keep on calculating, you know, they're different so they take it the wrong way. One of my really good mates, Ben, that we're going to be getting into some wood art, and what he was getting was I think 2 like electrodes that he was running electricity through some wood, and we were going to like make patterns and go down to Salamanca markets and sell them. So I said, we've got to think of a good name, we've got to think of something that looks flashy and something that looks really good. And I think it's a really good step, because I've owned my own business. I had a business called Budgie Smugglers Takeaway Cafe. So I didn't choose the name, but I bought into it, but I was the first person to register it because he never registered it. So realistically, I was the first person to call a business called Budgie Smuggler other than the Speedos. So, you know, I've run my own business. I know what it's like. I've had a bit of time off when I suffered a mental illness, when I had a breakdown. When I look back at that breakdown, I look at that there's some truth and some stuff that I still think about today that happened that, you know, like, I just don't understand. Like, there's too many things that happened. Like, one time that I was in my house and I felt this presence, and you know, I felt like I was Jesus, and I used to go out when I was at my parents' place, and I used to get a piece of bread and I used to wash my hands and put my hand on the bread and I used to bless it. And I used to say that I'm blessing this for the birds, blessing this for humanity and the whole universe, to wipe away everyone's sins, and this is for total understanding, to pass on through consciousness. And I'm doing this for food, even though it's probably not the best thing for the birds, but I'm sorry, but this is all I can offer. And then I'd cut it up into pieces and I'd throw it out into the grass. And the birds would come down every morning, they were waiting for the food. And I used to feed them, and I used to go out there and I used to be like C5, sort of deep thought. And I used to get into this thing and I used to say, vocalize internally,